Before I get into the entire program, let me just introduce you to the members of the head table. We have Miss Lauren Lynn, Director, CB Group. I must get it right as I go along. Professor Archibald McDonough, well, I can't get Prof name wrong at all. Our title, Principal and Pro Vice Chancellor, especially since I always want to keep my job. He's the boss around here, so let's make a principal. Welcome, please. Then Mrs. Donette Chin-Lloyd Chang, she's co-chair. No, I got it. She's co-chair, so let's make her welcome also. I was going to say new author, but he has been author and mentor for years. I'm going to talk about his book sooner or later through this program. But Mr. Douglas Orain, who says that he's retired, but he's also co-chair. Welcome, sir. And of course, Mrs. Thalia Lynn, who is also our chair. Now, let's move in very quickly. But I'm going to be pointing out persons as we go along. But bear with me here. This is MC kind of taking some advantage. I want to acknowledge the presence of Miss Catherine Winter. Now, just a little history here before we get into it. Catherine is a recipient of our CB 5K program, but not just that. She was awarded with the Sportswoman of the Year for the UM Mona campus. Hold on, don't start clapping yet. And then she had to go away to represent Jamaica at the Pan Am Games for badminton. Pan Am Championships. Thank you very much for the clarification. I knew that. And while she was away, she was awarded the Vice Chancellor Award, Sportswoman of the Year, the top woman across all campuses for sports. So congratulations to Catherine Winter. And outside of programs like these, where people know better, I usually tell people I am responsible for her growth. We're going to be inviting Mrs. Donette Chin-Lloyd Chang, who will bring remarks.
I'm so happy because today I get to say a really warm welcome. Usually when I'm in Toronto at the UWI Gala and I say a warm Toronto welcome, it's really only 5 Celsius outside. And everybody around here has been complaining about how hot it is. So I'll send you some of my weather when I get back next week. Pro Vice Chancellor and Mona Principal Archie McDonald, Lorianne Lynn, Thalia Lynn, Douglas Orain, Elizabeth Buchanan Hind, students, members of the UWI, Mina Israel. I'm so happy because today I get to say a really warm welcome. Usually when I'm in Toronto at the UWI Gala and I say a warm Toronto welcome, it's really only 5 Celsius outside. And everybody around here has been complaining about how hot it is. So I'll send you some of my weather when I get back next week. Pro Vice Chancellor and Mona Principal Archie McDonald, Lorianne Lynn, Thalia Lynn, Douglas Orain, Elizabeth Buchanan Hind, students, members of the UWI, Mina Israel, members of the media, and members of the UWI family. We are now in the 5th year of the CB Group UWI 5K. And together with Douglas Orain, I was privileged and honored to serve as co-chair in 2015. We have forged a remarkable partnership with CB Group, our signature sponsor. CB Group, you rock. And Lorianne Lynn, you totally rock. But Matthew Lynn rocks more. We're now entering the next generation phase as some of the first recipients of our scholarship fund have graduated or are graduating, many with first-class honors. How good is that? I know each student values the investment we are all making and the strength of that gift. And today we will meet 3 of those students, Mr. Clifton Thompson, Ms. Monique Brown, and Mr. Shavar South. I will never forget the day Elizabeth came to Ray and me with the idea of fundraising for students at the University of the West Indies, and the day I discovered many students live in hidden places on campus, like the labs, because they are homeless or live in dire conditions, or that some exist on biscuits and sweet drinks because that's all they can afford. It was at that moment that the UWI Toronto Gala benefit was born, and that was 8 years ago. In 2012, the 5th anniversary of Jamaica's independence, our dear Ray thought we should celebrate Grand Jamaica Homecoming, along with some of our other colleagues, distinguished colleagues I want to add, who came on this initiative: Douglas Orain, Thalia Lynn, Minna Israel, Elizabeth Buchanan Hind, and so forth. So Ray thought we should celebrate the Grand Jamaica Homecoming by having an event at the Usain Bolt track in the Bowl. Along with some of, as I mentioned, our powerful colleagues, we pulled our positive collective energy, and the UWI 5K was born. Topping the cake, of course, was a full engagement in a huge way of CB Group. So thanks again, Norianne. 4 years ago, and here we are. At our 4th staging of this prestigious event on Sunday, November 15, thousands of people participated, as with the very first event. I am happy to report that since its inception, the CB UWI 5K, with Kids K for the children, has raised over $38 million Jamaican and awarded almost 100 scholarships. Not bad for a small idea. Part proceeds also funded a thermocycler machine for the Jamaica Kidney Kids Foundation. It warms my heart that in these uncertain and often turbulent times, we can come together in peace, purpose, celebration, and hope, in the joy of knowing the future is secure. Students, heartfelt congratulations. It's all about you, actually, and you do make us proud. On life, I'd like to leave this with you. Remain engaged in your communities. Give back to UWI because we need you. Enjoy life. Be kind and compassionate. Be fair in your dealings. Strive for balance. The possibilities are endless, and not everything can be measured in dollars and cents. I'd also like to let you know that you will be receiving a book called The Business of Nation Building by the Honorable Douglas Orain. How lucky are you? So after Mr. Orain, at the end, the book presentation will be done. Thank you, everybody, for coming, and we see you next year, November 13.
The next set of remarks will come from our Principal and Pro-Vice Chancellor at the UWI Mona campus, Professor Archibald McDonald.
Honorable Douglas Orain, Mrs. Donette Chinloy Chang, Mr. Clifton Thompson, and Miss Brown, those are recipients. Mr. Lin is absent, is it? Mr. Lin, but well represented by his mom, Mrs. Thalia Lynn. The CBUWI 5K provides a platform for the public and big business in Jamaica to form a necessary alliance that aims to provide for young, needy students who are determined to achieve a tertiary education. And those of you who listen to my speeches and read what I have to say in the newspapers would know that the emphasis of the Mona Camp, the CBUWI 5K, provides a platform for the public and big business in Jamaica to form a necessary alliance that aims to provide for young, needy students who are determined to achieve a tertiary education. And those of you who listen to my speeches and read what I have to say in the newspapers would know that the emphasis of the Mona campus, and in fact the University of the West Indies, is engaged in the private sector, both nationally and nationally as well as internationally, to support education. And those of you who listen would have heard me say many times that with the weak economies of the Caribbean region, that is, in fact, it has to be the only model for funding tertiary education I know I can say, I used to say in Jamaica, but believe it or not, the Mona campus is probably the strongest campus financially today as we speak, because we know about what is happening in Trinidad and Barbados. I need not say anymore. So that is the model. So I really would like to thank CB and all the other supporters and funders of the CB UWI 5K for their involvement. The CB group has been a long-time supporter of the UWI and has always been committed to supporting the educational needs of our society. It recognizes that in order to build a strong and formidable nation that maintains a strong economy and a good social welfare system, big business must invest in creating the right foundation for the achievement of this goal. In so doing, they have created an impressive event that allows all members of our community to take on a proactive role in building education in our country, whilst helping many realize their dreams of learning and advancing their knowledge base. The great thing about this is that they are enabling access to education through encouraging healthy living with the 5K run walk. And you heard Mrs. Chang mention the what is it called? The Kid K. So we're getting them at an even younger age. To this end, let us applaud the CB group. And I would like to thank them for another year of support to the University of the West Indies and to our students in particular. This company has had an indelible impact on the lives of careers of the many students who benefited from this award, and their work should be recognized by our entire Jamaican community. To our scholarship recipients, I think they are sitting beside you, Elizabeth. Those are recipients. Let me encourage you, let me congratulate you, but let me also encourage you to make the most of this award and to work extremely hard during your stay here at the university. I hope that in a couple of years, a few years from now, we'll hear that you too graduated with honors and hopefully first-class honors degrees. It's very important for you to know that. It is very important for you to know that early in your career. If you are not told that, you tend to, the brightest of our bright are lost, somewhat lost, not completely lost, because bright people always make it up. But a lot of our students who graduate, just barely graduate, are the brightest of the bright. And if they were told what I'm telling you, I'd encourage you to work hard. Don't wait for the final year. You will graduate with honors too. It's an awesome opportunity that should not be squandered. And I also encourage you, as Mrs. Chang did, to pay forward the gifts you will receive today by helping others. That is very, very important, that you give back to those who, too, are not able to fund their education. I have no doubt you will be successful and be able to look after your families and to give back to your communities. But I encourage you to also remember from whence you came and to remember to give back to needy students and also to your alma mater, the University of the West Indies. I also encourage you to take part in the 5K. and the many more that will come after, and share the knowledge you gained as a result of this award and others. And the aim really is to make Jamaica a better place. I would like to, those of you who don't know me would know that I'm a surgeon by training. I'm a medical doctor, and I will tell you the importance of exercise. Frano, I know that you are aware, but the healthcare costs in all countries of the world would be a fraction of what it is if our people became more active and eat healthy. Very, very important. Far more important than you think. That is really the solution to chronic diseases like diabetes, which is entirely curable. We have known that for many years. Those of you who don't know, you learn that now. I only found out, although I'm a medical doctor trained at the great University of the West Indies, maybe over the past 10 years or so, that diabetes is entirely reversible, entirely curable by exercise and diet. But it gets better because even coronary artery disease, which is responsible for the death of so many people, is also curable and reversible if you exercise and eat right. So I'm encouraging our recipients to keep active and participate in the 5K when the time comes. And I'm in fact encouraging all of you to participate. So many thanks to CB Group for their commitment to education, and the UWI looks forward to another year of your continued support.
Next to give some remarks, and she told me, it will be brief remarks because she doesn't like to do these things, will be Miss Lorianne Lynn, Director at the CB Group.
Dalton, Prof, Donnet, Douglas, and Celia, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I have to first apologize on behalf of my son Matthew, who was unable to make it here today. And so he sends me a message this morning and says, Mom, you have to go. And of course, I'm the obedient mother, so I said, of course. He doesn't tell, I have not been to one of these before, so of course I have no idea what the format is and any expectations, so thus the empty hand. Prof. Donnet, thank you so very much for the kind words about our company. We at CB, we are honored, we are proud, we're happy, pleased to be a part of the CB UWI 5K walk and run. We can't build Jamaica without education. We are more than happy to participate in this level, at this level of education, because we do it also internally within our own company, but this is a different level for us. That's all I have to say, students. Do your best, become great Jamaicans. There are so many of us here that have the potential to become great Jamaicans. And not necessarily great Jamaicans only in Jamaica, great Jamaicans outside of Jamaica. Continue to do your best. And Catherine, you shine. We know that. You have shone since the beginning and you continue to shine. You make us proud. Thank you so very much. Thank you, everybody.
So we have the check here. We're going to be handing over the check. It is to Prof. Prof, you're the boss, So this is saying $10.5 million. This is great stuff, guys. All right, so we're going to get responses from our recipients on behalf of the rest of the group, because there are quite a few of them. And we're going to be going in this order. So it will be Clifton Thompson, Miss Monique Brown, and then Mr. Shavar South. All right, so they're going to come in that order, and then I return just before the vote of thanks.
My name is Clifton Thompson, and I am a proud graduate of the University of the West Indies. Also, I was a recipient of the CB Group UE5K scholarship back in 2013, where I held on to that scholarship for 2 years, right? So I am proud and truly humbled to be here today to meet with the remarkable donors who are behind all of this. In fact, if I didn't receive that scholarship, I don't know if I would have completed university or completed in the manner in which I did. I graduated last year with a first-class honors degree. So I graduated last year with a first-class honors degree in biochemistry and food chemistry. And now I'm currently working as a science teacher, where I'm teaching chemistry, physics, biology, and integrated science at an high school. So because of the fact that CB Group, in partnership with UWI, invested in my education, I am here today, proudly standing, and just want to share my gratitude and appreciation for such a scholarship. And awardees who are here today, I encourage you and challenge you to continue to wave the banner of the CB UE5K scholarship high and proudly. And the sponsors, I'm kindly asking you to just continue to do the good work, as you know, education is the best way forward and for a better development of Jamaica. And as Nelson Mandela said, education is the most powerful weapon that can be used to change the world. So we as ambassador, we promise you not to disappoint you or make you feel regret in investing in our education. All right, so thank you.
Distinguished guests, donors of the UCB Group UE5K Scholarship, Mr. Principal, administrative staff, fellow awardees, ladies, gentlemen, a pleasant good afternoon to you all. I am delighted to stand before you this afternoon to speak on behalf of myself and other scholarship awardees for the academic year 2015-2016. I am Miss Monique Brown, a final year undergraduate pursuing a BSc in molecular biology in the Faculty of Science and Technology at the UWI Mona campus. First, I must say, to endure was the first thing that we, the awardees, did learn, and that which we had the most need to know. We were all destined for a change because we took the calculated risk and continue our studies not knowing where the finances would come from. Personally, I can reflect on my testimony with the CB Group UE5K scholarship. The beginning of my experience at the UWI was a rocky one, yet I made it this far, thanks to the Most High God and the CB Group UE5K scholarship family. Being rejected by relatives as a result of seeking financial assistance, I believe that I will make it some way, somehow. For this academic year, I was at a crossroad where I was bombarded with several decisions. At one point, I have decided that I will request a leave of absence. Nonetheless, the thought comes, to be poor is very hard because several, if not all times, where I am frustrated, full of misery, because my family nor myself can afford certain necessity. As such, this motive changed my decision. This change was meant for good and was one that instantly changed my welfare. At this point, I made the decision that one day I will emancipate my family from the deadly disease called poverty. Then I applied for the CB Group UE5K scholarship a few months before school reopens. While in class on a Thursday, to be specific, on September 24, I received a phone call from Mrs. Hunter from this very same building, the UWI regional headquarters. Promptly, I discovered that I was selected as a recipient of the CB Group UWI 5K Scholarship for the 2015-2016 academic year, and that this scholarship award would cover my tuition for the entire year. Words were limited, as I did not know what to say. Tears of joy rushed to my eyes because then I truly believe that to endure is indeed an agent of change. It is for and among these reasons, with great satisfaction, that I use this medium to express our appreciation and sincere gratitude to the donors of the CB Group UWI 5K Scholarship for choosing us for this award. This award is a life-changing opportunity, and it has helped to propel us to greatness and thus to fulfill our desire by putting our best life forward at the tertiary level. Great satisfaction, accomplishments, and happiness were felt. Had it not been for this award, we wouldn't have leaped across this gigantic hurdle. Thank you 1,000 times, donors. You're one in a million. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, fellow recipients. My name is Shevar South. I'm a final year medical student of this great institution, the University of the West Indies. I must start by expressing the honor that it is for me to stand here today as a recipient of the CB Group UWI 5K Scholarship. I remember it was last year, the year 2014, 2015, that I was first notified by Mrs. Buchanan Hine that I was going to be a recipient of this scholarship. And at the time, I felt what I thought was a true dichotomy of emotions. It was exhilarating and ecstatic on one hand, and then true relief on the other hand. And this scholarship has done a lot for me. In my first 2 or so years of university, I found myself at the offices on many occasions, in the lines just before exams. There would be great struggle getting into exams because they would tell you that you can't do the exam if you have any fees owing. And there are many times where, it's kind of frowned upon in Jamaica where a man would, break down emotionally, cry and stuff like that. But there are many occasions where I came very close to that point. So this scholarship has significantly reduced a lot of that burden on me, and I stand here today to say that my 4th year, which was the year just completed, has been my best year in medical school so far. Pending one final grade, I'm currently in the position of making the Dean's List, which is very significant, particularly in medical school, as many of my peers would tell you. So I'm very thankful. I also, proudly, I don't like mentioning it, but I tutor a lot of the junior students in 1st, 2nd year, and even those in 3rd year. And this scholarship has helped me to be able to afford time to do things like that rather than having to run around, because I had to do a lot of that in my earlier years in medical school. I would like to thank our donors, CB, for everything that they have done, along with all the other sponsors. And I'm sure I speak for all the recipients, those here and those that are not here, that we're truly grateful for this award. That's helped us all a lot. Just to echo what 2 speakers before me mentioned, we all face a lot of struggle every day attending university. And it is truly a very sad thing to be poor when you can't afford to take care of yourself and provide for yourself. So we're truly grateful for everything that the sponsors have done, all the donors have done. And we do hope that you continue to do this so that students like myself, like my recipient, the other recipients, and students who may have even greater struggle than us, that they can benefit from this and further their education as well. I'd like to make a special mention to Mr. Douglas Arain, who has been a mentor for me from my time at the great institution of the Wolmer's Boys School. He has done a lot for me over the years. I'm not sure I could be standing here today if it hasn't been for him. So I'd like to express my greatest gratitude towards you, Mr. Arain. And I'd just like to thank you all again for this award. I'm truly grateful. and I hope to make you all proud.
Listening to those three remarks, there's nothing much else that I can even read on the paper, glassy eyes and all, but I must say, to the sponsors, etc., especially, and everyone here, this is significant. I think all the persons who have been involved over the years, Alicia, Jermaine, Bev, everyone, this has been very, very helpful. Really good set of remarks. Monique Brown, and of course Shavar. And Shavar kind of just told what I was going to say, that he's a former head boy for Wolmer's, and also he's a final year student. And on the paper here, written by Liz, it says protege of Douglas Oreen, which means a good shout. Thank you very much. The truth is, each year we want to improve the delivery. Each year we try to figure out how to get more students involved. I know Alicia has been a kind of annoyed by the fact that, we don't have more of the students who are coming and the university. I mean, it's improving, and I think we can more and more find creative ways to get our students involved, to get the entire campus involved. But Alicia, trust me, something that we'll work on. And I know you have been pressuring us, pressuring me, and the rest, but we can get that going. And I think this is something that we have to do, every year. This isn't something that we can even stop, no matter what is happening. So again, to the CB group, thank you very much, through all the subsidiaries, through all the groups that you use. Thank you very much for being a part of this, and thank you very much for helping out each and every one of the students and student athletes over the years. But the vote of thanks will go to the author himself, the Honorable Douglas Oreen. Let's make him welcome. He's co-chair and sponsor.
Good afternoon, friends. Dalton asks, how do you choose which speeches to put in a book? Well, I'll tell you how you do it. You choose good readers. What are readers? Well, I had a group of about 8 or 9 people who read every draft that I did. And they were brutal, especially on the first draft. They said, Doug, this is too long, it's too boring, nobody will ever read it. And so therefore, I went and chopped and changed and did a lot of amendments to the whole structure of the book. So now it's written for the Twitter generation, written for your generation. So I tried to get down to 140 characters for each excerpt, but didn't quite. But there's no excerpt, there's hardly an excerpt that's longer than a page. So it's very easy to read. And since it's the Instagram generation as well, there are lots of photographs in it, which are subliminally autobiographical, because I was just an ordinary little shy, introverted kid on Braemar Avenue growing up. And so any of you can do what I have done. And there are pictures in there from I was 4 years old, so you can have a look. By the way, anybody know what jackass rope is? Well, you come from country. So there's a picture of me buying jackass rope from an entrepreneur in Mandeville Market when I was 7 years old for my grandfather. It's rolled tobacco, and it looks like a rope. And somebody said to me, I never thought of this, who was from Canada. She said, isn't this amazing? A 7-year-old buying tobacco? So I said, I never thought of it that way. It was from my grandfather. So I'd spoken to Elizabeth before, and I brought a check. I drew a check. So and she says, well, I must let everybody know. I said, no, it was just from me. But anyway, she says it's important because it's the first donation for the 2016 CB UWI 5K. So here it is for you. That's all right. It's okay. But you can't lodge it till Monday anyway. So, so no hurry. Anyway, here it is for you. Good. Okay. So, folks, I'm here to just thank everybody, and it's a long list. Which is wonderful because it shows that this outpouring of support. But one of the things I just want to say before I thank the folks on this list, which is primarily in institutions, I'd really love to see more individuals giving. And that's one of the reasons I give as an individual, because I think for us to transform Jamaica, it's going to be individual initiative that will make it happen. And we can't depend only on companies in order to be donors. And so let's go for it. So here are the folks who we need to thank. CB Group, of course, National Baking Company, Smart Eggs, European Union, Rainforest, the RGR Group, CVM, the Port Authority, Island Grill. So, sunblock, I thought that was a suntan lotion, but it's actually the tents that they donated pro bono for us. Proven, Mayberry Investments, Jamaica Producers, Lasco, Sterling Asset Management, Power 106, Nationwide, Dunlop Corbin, Jamaica Observer, IRI FM, News Talk, the Jamaica Pegasus. It's Pixel Perfect. And I said, what's that? Well, it's a social media company. It's one of the companies your generation has created out of nowhere that's transforming the world. Running events. And of course, who I'd like to really thank is all the individuals at UWI who make this possible in order to help the students and of course the public that run and walk and come in wheelchairs every year. So thank you everybody for being here. It's a real pleasure and have a good afternoon.